Hey there. Did you know that you could be missing out on, like, thousands of pounds in retirement?
Yeah,
Potentially.
potentially.
1,600 each year.
Right.
All because of this thing called the UK state pension.
Yeah, and what's so interesting about this is that it applies even if you're, living abroad right now.
Okay.
Um,
So what is this opportunity?
there's a limited time opportunity.
Why is it so time sensitive?
It's all about voluntary national insurance contributions, which are basically, payments that go towards your UK state pension.
Okay.
Think of it like buying back missing years of work
Mm.
to increase your pension amount. So what makes this a limited time thing is that the UK government has extended the deadline for making these contributions
Okay.
to cover gaps going all the way back to 2006.
So it's like a flashback to cheaper rate.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. You get to pay at the historical rates for those years, which are often much lower than what you would pay today. Like, for example, in the 2020-2021 tax year, the Class 3 contribution rate was £15.40 per week,
Okay.
compared to £17.45 for the current 2024-25 tax year.
Okay. So that's a pretty big difference.
Yeah.
Like that adds up.
Yeah.
But how do I know
And especially,
if I have any gaps in my national insurance record? I haven't lived in the UK for years.
that's a good question.
Yeah.
So that's where the Check Your State Pension tool on gov.uk comes in.
Okay.
It's a simple online tool that lets you see your entire national insurance record, including any gaps,
Right.
and how much you could potentially boost your pension by.
Okay.
All you need is your national insurance number.
Okay. Sounds straightforward enough.
Yeah,
So let's say I check my record
right.
and I do find some gaps. What happens next? Is it just a matter of throwing money at the problem?
Not quite. There are different types of voluntary contributions,
Okay.
and choosing the right one is kind of crucial. The most common types are Class 2 and Class 3 contributions. Class 2 contributions are generally much cheaper, but they have stricter eligibility criteria, usually for people who are self-employed.
And class 3s for the rest of us.
Precisely.
Okay.
Class 3 contributions are the standard rate,
Okay.
and they're available to most people who want to fill gaps in their pension record.
Got it.
But even if you're not sure which class applies to you, don't worry. You can always contact the Future Pension Center
Okay.
for personalized guidance.
They'll walk me through all the options and help me figure out the best strategy.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the best part is, it's a completely free service. They're there to help you maximize your UK state pension, even if you're living miles away.
Reassuring. Okay.
Okay.
So we've covered the basics. There's a limited time opportunity to buy back missing years of national insurance contributions at potentially lower rates.
Mm-hmm.
I need to check my record on gov.uk.
Yep.
And then I can figure out which type of contribution makes the most sense for me.
You got it. And remember, this deadline is April 2025.
Okay.
That might seem far off, but gathering your records and making informed decisions takes time.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's always better to be proactive and start exploring your options sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's delve a bit deeper into the benefits of making these voluntary contributions.
Okay, yeah.
What's the real impact on my weekly pension amount?
Well, each qualifying year that you purchase can add a significant amount to your overall pension.
Okay.
We're talking potentially hundreds of pounds more per year, which can really, make a real difference in your quality of life during retirement.
Yeah, that's a pretty compelling reason to take action. But let's say I'm still years away from retirement.
Right.
Is it really worth it for me to make these contributions now?
That's a great question, and it really depends on your individual circumstances.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Taking advantage of this extension
Right.
and those lower historical rates now can save you a substantial amount of money compared to waiting until later.
So it's like an investment in my future.
Exactly.
Okay.
And don't forget, even if you're not planning to move back to the UK,
Right.
your UK state pension can be paid to you anywhere in the world.
So no matter where life takes me,
Right.
I can still benefit from those contributions.
Yeah.
All right, now let's say I'm approaching retirement age, and I realize I'm a few years short of a full state pension.
Okay.
Can voluntary contributions really make up for that lost time?
Absolutely. In fact, this is one of the most common scenarios
Okay.
where people benefit from making voluntary contributions.
Okay.
Even adding just a few years can significantly boost your weekly pension amount and ensure a more comfortable retirement.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, what about people who have worked in other countries besides the UK?
Right.
Can those work credits be applied towards their UK state pension?
That's where it gets a bit more nuanced.
Yeah.
The UK has social security agreements with many countries, including EU and EEA nations.
Right.
If you've worked in one of these countries,
Okay.
you may be able to combine your contributions
Right.
to meet the qualifying criteria for a UK state pension.
So it's not just about my UK work history, but also about maximizing any contributions I've made in other countries?
Precisely.
Okay.
It's all about understanding how these different systems kind of work together to maximize your eligibility.
This is starting to feel like a puzzle.
Yeah.
Where all the pieces are finally coming together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
speaking of pieces coming together, let's not forget about another important group who might benefit from this opportunity. Those who received incorrect guidance from HMRC between 2017 and 2019 regarding voluntary contributions.
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah.
There was some
Yeah.
confusion around
Yeah.
the rules back then.
Yes, there was. Some people may have been discouraged from making contributions or might have missed out on some crucial information. This special extension period is a chance for them to kind of rectify the situation and secure their pension rights.
That's great that the government's taking steps
Yeah.
to address those past issues.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, but it's clear that checking your national insurance record is the first crucial step.
Absolutely.
Once you have a clear understanding of your current situation,
Yeah.
including any gaps in your record and
Yeah.
potential years you can purchase,
Yep.
you can start making informed decisions about your next steps.
Exactly.
And just to reiterate, that deadline is April 2025.
Mm-hmm.
It might seem like a while away, but
Okay.
gathering all the necessary documentation,
Yeah.
making these important financial decisions takes time, so it's always best to act sooner rather than later.
Couldn't agree more.
Now let's move on to the application process itself.
Right. Okay.
What does that involve?
Well, the first thing you'll need is your national insurance number.
Okay.
This unique number is essential for accessing your records
Right.
and making contributions. It's like the key to your entire UK pension history.
Got it. So what else do I need to have on hand?
You'll also need to gather your
Yeah.
your personal details, including your full name,
Go.
date of birth,
Mhm.
and any previous addresses you've lived at in the UK.
Okay.
It's a good idea to have all of this information readily available before you start the application process
Right.
to make things go as smoothly as possible.
Makes sense.
Anything else? Additionally, you'll need to provide details about your UK departure date,
Okay.
where you've been living since leaving the UK.
Okay.
This helps HMRC understand your residency status
Uh-huh.
and how it affects your pension eligibility.
So it's all about painting a clear picture of my time, both inside and outside the UK.
Precisely. It's also helpful to have your employment history
Okay.
on hand, both in the UK. Okay.
And in any other countries you've worked in.
And if I've received any government benefits, I should have those details available as well.
Exactly. Now, when it comes to actually applying,
Right.
you have two options, online or by post.
Okay.
The online route is generally the most convenient and efficient way to go.
Sounds good. What's involved in the online application?
You can log into the Government Gateway website or create an account if you don't already have one.
Okay.
Once you're logged in, you'll need to complete the CF83 form, which is the official form for applying to pay voluntary national insurance contributions.
And I can complete and submit this form electronically through the government gateway.
Yes. You may also need to go through an ID verification process.
Okay.
If you prefer to apply by post, you can still download the CF83 form online,
Right.
print it out, fill it in manually,
Okay.
and mail it to the address provided by HMRC.
So there's flexibility depending on my comfort level with technology and paperwork.
When would I choose the postal route over the online option?
The postal route is sometimes necessary if you're setting up direct debit payments
Cool.
or if your application involves periods that are covered by EU or reciprocal agreements.
Okay, that makes sense. So once I've submitted my application,
Right.
what happens next?
HMRC will review it and may contact you if they require any further information.
Okay.
So it's important to be responsive to their communications, and provide any requested documentation promptly.
So it's not a set it and forget it kind of situation.
Not exactly. It's best to stay engaged throughout the process.
Okay.
Once your application has been approved,
Okay.
HMRC will send you confirmation
Right.
detailing your contribution class,
Huh.
payment amounts, deadlines, and available payment methods.
Okay, so that's when I'll have all the nitty-gritty details about what I owe
Yeah,
and how to pay.
precisely.
Okay. This is all starting to feel a lot less daunting than I initially thought.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there are specific tips and considerations
Right.
for different groups of people. For example,
Yeah.
how does this all work for Irish citizens living abroad? Does their residency in Ireland affect their UK state pension eligibility?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And this is where the Common Travel Area Agreement comes in.
Okay, let's break that down in part 2 of this deep dive. We'll be back right after this quick break.
Sounds good. Welcome back. Before the break, we were discussing how residency in Ireland might affect UK state pension eligibility.
Right.
This is where the Common Travel Area Agreement comes in.
Okay.
This agreement between the UK and Ireland allows for the combination of social insurance records from both countries.
So even if someone hasn't worked in the UK for the full 35 years, their time spent working and contributing in Ireland can be factored in.
That's right. It can make a big difference in qualifying for a pension in either country.
Okay, and how does that process actually work?
Yeah.
Do people have to submit separate applications for both countries?
No, thankfully not. The UK and Ireland, they communicate directly to streamline the process. You won't need to jump through extra hoops just because you've lived in both places.
That's a relief.
Yeah.
It sounds like a surprisingly smooth system for something that could be so complicated.
It is, and this brings up a crucial point, regardless of nationality. Don't hesitate to reach out for help if you need it.
Okay.
The UK has dedicated resources to help people understand these often complex systems.
So if someone is feeling lost in the maze of national insurance and pensions, where should they turn?
If you're below state pension age, the Future Pension Center is a great starting point.
Okay.
They offer personalized guidance on maximizing your pension, taking into account your individual circumstances.
And what if you're closer to retirement or already living abroad?
In that case, you'll want to contact the International Pension Center.
Okay.
They specialize in helping people who are either near retirement or living outside the UK.
So they can handle things like figuring out your entitlement, making voluntary contributions, and even arranging for pension payments to be sent abroad.
Precisely. They're a valuable resource for anyone navigating the ins and outs of UK pensions from overseas.
It's reassuring to know that that kind of support is available. Now, alongside those official resources, we've talked about the potential benefits of consulting with a financial advisor. When would that be a particularly good idea?
It can be especially helpful for those with more complex situations, like if you've lived and worked in several different countries, or if you have other financial planning needs alongside your pension.
So a financial advisor can help create a more holistic retirement plan that takes everything into account.
Exactly. They can help you understand complex pension rules, evaluate your options, and develop a plan that aligns with your overall goals.
Finding a financial advisor who specializes in international pensions sounds like a good move for those living abroad, wouldn't you say?
I completely agree. They can help you navigate the trickier aspects of cross-border pensions and ensure that your financial plan is tax efficient and compliant with regulations in both your country of residence and the UK. It's worth investing the time to find a reputable advisor you trust.
It sounds like getting that expert guidance can make a world of difference in feeling, confident and secure about your financial future.
Absolutely. And speaking of the future, let's zoom out for a moment and consider the bigger picture here. We're talking about planning for retirement, a time when many people hope to, relax and enjoy the fruits of their labor.
Yeah, it's that time to, finally travel, pursue hobbies, or spend quality time with loved ones without the pressures of work.
Right.
But those dreams can quickly fade without proper financial planning.
Exactly. Retirement can become a time of stress and worry if you haven't taken steps to secure your financial well-being.
Yeah.
And your UK state pension can play a big role in that security.
It's easy to put off thinking about retirement when you're younger and focused on, building your career and things like that.
But the truth is, time flies. The earlier you start planning, the better prepared you'll be.
Like they say, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is today.
Perfect analogy. Even if you're closer to retirement, it's never too late to take control of your finances and explore opportunities to boost your pension income.
Every little bit helps, right?
Mm.
And taking advantage of those historical rates available through the special extension can make a real difference.
Absolutely. And beyond the financial benefits, there's also the peace of mind that comes with knowing you've taken proactive steps to secure your future. It frees you up to focus on other things, knowing you've got a solid foundation in place.
Yeah, it sounds like taking control of your pension isn't just about the numbers. It's about feeling confident and empowered about your future.
Exactly. So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, what are some key takeaways you'd like our listeners to remember?
Well, first and foremost, if you've ever lived and worked in the UK, checking your national insurance record should be at the top of your to-do list. It's quick, it's easy, and it's free. You might be surprised by what you find.
I second that. Don't let potential pension pounds slip through your fingers.
And secondly, that deadline of April 2025 might seem far off, but it's closer than you think.
Right.
Getting organized and making these decisions takes time, so don't wait until the last minute.
Couldn't agree more.
And lastly, remember that you don't have to navigate this alone. Whether it's HMRC Resources, the Future Pension Center, the International Pension Center, or a qualified financial advisor, there's plenty of support available.
Exactly. Don't let uncertainty or fear hold you back from securing the retirement you deserve.
Now, for those who are ready to take their UK pension knowledge to the next level, we've got some great resources to share, but first we'll take a quick break. Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about all the support available for navigating UK pensions. Now, for those who want to delve even deeper, we've got some great resources to share.
Yeah, the first one is HMRC's comprehensive guide
Right.
to voluntary contributions for those living abroad. It kind of covers everything
Right.
from eligibility and application procedures to payment options and deadlines. It's a fantastic starting point for anyone seeking detailed information kind of directly from the source.
And where can people find this guide?
It's on the official HMRC website,
Okay.
gov.uk.
GOV or UK, okay.
Just search for voluntary national insurance contributions abroad, and it should be like one of the top results.
It's easy enough. What other resources would you recommend?
The NI-38 document is another valuable resource.
Okay.
It focuses specifically on Social Security arrangements for UK citizens living abroad, and it provides great information on how time spent in other countries might affect your UK pension.
So it's especially useful for those who've lived and worked in EU or EEA countries because it outlines how those contributions can be combined with their UK record.
Exactly.
Okay, great.
And of course, there's the all-important CF83 form,
Yeah.
the official application form for making voluntary national insurance contributions.
We talked about that earlier. You can download it from gov.uk, fill it out, and submit it electronically or by mail.
Yeah.
Are there any resources for, like, more general pension and retirement planning?
The Money Helper website is a fantastic resource for that. It's a free and impartial service from the UK government, packed with information on state pension, workplace pensions, personal pensions.
So it's a great, like, one-stop shop for anyone planning their retirement in the UK?
Absolutely. Their website is really user-friendly and offers various tools and calculators to help you plan effectively.
Okay, perfect. And I understand HMRC also offers guidance on topics like, the taxation of foreign income,
Yeah.
state pension rules for expats, and international payment arrangements. That seems particularly helpful for those considering, retiring abroad.
It's definitely worth checking out those resources to ensure a smooth transition and avoid any financial surprises.
Yeah, okay. But even with all of these, like, fantastic resources, sometimes you just need more personalized advice. That's when, a qualified financial advisor can be invaluable.
Absolutely, yeah. They can help you understand those more complex pension rules, weigh your options, and create a comprehensive plan that aligns with your overall financial goals.
Yeah, and if you're living abroad, finding an advisor specializing in international pensions can be especially beneficial.
Right.
They can guide you through the kind of intricacies of cross-border pensions, ensuring your financial plan is tax efficient and compliant with regulations in both your country of residence and the UK. It sounds like taking that extra step to find a trusted advisor can provide, like, immense peace of mind.
Absolutely.
Now, let's shift gears for a moment and talk about something that might surprise some people.
Okay.
Voluntary national insurance contributions aren't just about boosting your pension amount. they can like unlock other benefits as well.
That's right. Depending on the type of contribution that you make,
Okay.
you could become eligible for additional benefits like bereavement support payment,
Right.
maternity allowance, or even contributory employment and support allowance.
So it's not just about like securing your retirement income, but potentially enhancing your overall like Social Security safety net.
Exactly. And it's worth noting that not all voluntary contributions open the door to these benefits.
Okay.
Class 2 contributions, which are typically for the self-employed,
Right.
offer broader coverage than Class 3. So if you're eligible for Class 2, it's definitely something to consider carefully.
Okay. Sounds like a win-win situation.
Yeah.
Now let's address another question that often comes up. Inheriting a UK state pension.
Right.
What happens if, say, someone's spouse passes away
Right.
while living in Ireland?
Okay.
Can they inherit a portion of that UK pension?
That's a great question. And the answer is yes, they can. The Common Travel Area Agreement that we talked about earlier
Right.
ensures that living in Ireland doesn't affect your inheritance rights when it comes to your spouse's UK pension.
That must be a huge relief for many couples
Yeah.
who have moved between the UK and Ireland. So
Yeah.
even though the pension holders passed away, their contributions can still benefit their loved ones.
That's right. The specific rules around inheritance can vary
Yeah.
depending on the type of pension
Right.
and when it started.
Right.
But there are generally provisions for spouses or
Uh-huh.
civil partners to inherit a portion of the pension.
Okay. And if someone finds themselves in this situation, what should they do?
It's always best to contact the UK International Pension Center directly. They can guide you through the process and explain your entitlements.
Okay. It's fantastic that these kind of resources and support systems exist
Yep.
to help people navigate these sometimes difficult situations. Now, before we wrap up, I want to touch on one more fascinating aspect of boosting your UK state pension. It turns out there are ways to potentially increase your pension without making direct financial contributions.
Right.
You're referring to national insurance credits, right?
Exactly.
Okay. We touched upon this like briefly earlier,
Yeah.
but it's worth exploring further. These credits represent qualifying weeks towards your state pension, and you can earn them even if you weren't working.
It's a great way to potentially increase your pension without having to pay extra. Things like, caring for a child, being a full-time student,
Well,
or receiving certain benefits can all earn you credit.
it's amazing how all these different systems can work together to benefit people, but I imagine it can still feel overwhelming, like to figure out all the details and make sense of it all. So what's the one piece of advice you would leave our listener with today to help them feel empowered and take control of their UK pension?
I would say knowledge is power. The more you understand about the UK state pension, the better equipped you'll be to make informed decisions.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to ask questions, seek clarification, and challenge assumptions.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a silly question when it comes to your financial future.
I completely agree. And remember, there's a wealth of resources and expert help available.
Right.
Don't let uncertainty or fear hold you back from securing the retirement you deserve.
Even small steps can lead to significant gains in the long run.
Yeah.
Take the time to check your record, explore your options, and start building the future that you envision.
That's a fantastic note to end on. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, exploring the ins and outs of boosting your UK state pension, even if you're living abroad.
We've discussed everything from voluntary contributions and historical rates to resources and expert advice. We hope you found this information helpful and empowering.
Remember, your retirement years should be a time to enjoy the fruits of your labor, not a time to worry about finances. So take charge of your pension, explore your options, and invest in your future. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and keep diving deep.